everyone. It's good to be back this evening. This is Maria with Still Dreaming Homestead, and we are continuing to read on our story, The Ghost Dog of Stony Ridge. I'm sorry about that reflection there. So, I was really worried about DJ and Alfred yesterday. And of course, Duger, because of that man. That was a lot of trouble. Well, today looks like it's going to be on a totally different subject, and I'm wondering what this one's going to be about. This is chapter 6, Trouble with Kathy. You know, Kathy Stagg. Okay, ready? Grandpa Dillon was sitting on the small front porch, rocking his old red cane-bottomed chair when DJ walked up with Hero that afternoon. The old man squinted over the top of his wire-frame bifocals and tapped his blackthorn walking stick against the wooden porch railing. You're looking a bit scratched up, DJ. The boy was startled. For the first time, he saw the rips in his shirt and pants. For a moment, he hesitated about telling his grandfather what had happened. As DJ unsnapped Hero's chain, Grandpa spoke again. "Went back to that barbed wire fence again, did ya?" "Yes. Left in a mighty big hurry from the look of ya, DJ." The boy looked around to make sure his new stepmother wasn't close by, but Grandpa said she and her daughter had gone to help clean the church. So DJ sat down on the top step and quietly told his grandfather about the second visit to the fence. Grandpa lightly tapped the head of his cane with the arm of the red rocker. "Not the same man's voice, you say?" "No, younger, Alfred and I think, but we didn't recognize it." "Thank the good Lord nobody was hurt." "Duger was, a little anyway. When we got back to Alfred's, we found his little brother's hound had been cracked alongside the head. By then it was swollen so we could see where somebody had hit Duger." "I thought you were going to take me with you the next time you boys went around that fence." "We forgot, Grandpa. Besides, if you had to run like we did, you might have fallen and gotten hurt." "Much obliged for you thinking of me so kindly, but I can care of myself pretty well." Instead of care, he said cur. "Thank ye the same. Now I'm getting mighty all fired up curious to know why somebody is so determined to keep anybody away from that fence." "Me too. But I'd feel better if we knew who those people were. Wonder if there's any way to find out besides lying up there with a pair of binoculars and watching until we see somebody plainly." "There's always a way, Mr. Newspaper Reporter. Ask that editor fellow." "Good idea. Thanks. I'll go call him right now before Two-Mom and Pris get home. Your new stepmom finds out the risks you're taking, and she's likely to have your father working you over with a switch, even as growed up as you are." "I'll be careful." The boy jumped up and started into the house, then turned back to his grandfather. "Tap real hard on the porch with your Irish shillelagh if anybody comes up while I'm on the phone." The boy didn't like using the telephone, but he recognized that it was necessary. He figured out how to dial long distance for the 20-minute call to Indian Springs. When Mr. Kirsten came on the line, DJ explained he was working on the lake pollution story and needed to know how to find out the name of the man who held the garage sale. DJ would explain later. Elmer Kirsten's voice was brisk on the phone. If you lived in an incorporated community, there'd be a city directory. So if you've got an address or a phone number, you can look that up and find out who they are. But since you're in a rural area, that means out in the country, of Timbergold County, try the fire department, the utilities, telephone company, electric or water company, or ask a real estate broker. Try the post office. Ask the neighbors. A good reporter always finds a way, DJ. Don't worry, I'll find a way, the boy said. That's the spirit, DJ. Oh, by the way, I just had a telephone interview with an environmental toxologist. So that would be someone who would be finding out about like environmental poisons from the university. He says, got your pencil? No. The editor's voice was harsh. Don't ever let me hear you say that again, DJ Dillon. A good reporter has a pencil and paper with him at all times. You understand that? Yes. Yes, sir. Good. I'll hold on while you find something to write with. DJ wasn't sure if Mr. Kirsten was kidding or not, but the boy decided that he would take his writing material with him after this. He ran into his room, grabbed his pencil and yellow notepad, and returned to the phone. I'm back, he announced, puffing a little. Good. Write this down while I spell it for you. PENTACHLOREPHENOL. Whoa, that's a long word. Let me tell you what that word means. Gotta look it up in the back. I like that they have these. As Mr. Kirsten said, this chemical is used mainly to preserve wood. It is also used as a fungicide and disinfectant. So it's a chemical. It's pronounced pentachlorophene oil, but it's commonly called penta. Better spell that back to me. DJ did, and the editor grunted favorably. Now, Mr. Kirsten said, take down these notes about it. The boy wrote rapidly until the editor paused, and DJ asked DJ to read it back to him. Good, DJ. You know you're a very promising young man. Frankly, I wish I had an experienced reporter I could send to you, but I'm short on staff. I know you're young, and you've been very responsible so far. Keep up the good work. Thank you. You're welcome, DJ. Now, see if you can get down to the lake and find out any more about why the fish are dying. Be careful and stay out of trouble. But walk back upstream or into the woods and see if there's any way that that chemical can be coming from the lumber mill. DJ frowned and looked at the telephone. What's the lumber mill got to do with it? I understand they use that stuff to treat some wood products in manufacturing. It's possible the chemical was spilled accidentally. Or maybe they're just being careless. Anyway, check it out. And stay out of trouble. I'll be careful. One thing more, DJ. Understand, since you're not actually working for me or the Gazette, you're an independent contractor. That means you're on your own. You don't have to do any of these things. They're just ideas or leads or suggestions. I have to watch the legal aspects of having so young a stringer as you associated with the paper. I understand, Mr. Kirsten. Good. Goodbye and good luck. DJ hung up the phone and thought for a moment. He wanted to discuss the information with Alfred, but Mrs. Greenlee wouldn't like that if she had to go puffing up the hill to the Milfords' home again to get Alfred. So DJ walked out on the front porch and explained to his grandfather. The old man rocked gently. This nice, gentle rock, listening silently and frowning until DJ had finished. Grandpa said, tapping his cane lightly on the porch floor. So a small amount of that stuff would kill the fish? But it'd take a whole lot to kill people? That's what the toxologist told Mr. Kirsten. Said you'd have to pour in large amounts downstream close to where the water is being used by the people who drink it. It dissolves in water and dilutes so much it'd probably be safe by the time it got downstream. Don't make no sense, DJ. What doesn't? Well, somebody polluting Sudden Lake, that's for sure, because the fish are dying. But why all the fuss about danger to people if that stuff is going to be so diluted when it reaches them that it's not likely to cause them any harm? Boy frowned. Then his face lit up. Oh, I just thought of something. In writing stories, especially mysteries, sometimes there's a false clue to fool the readers. It's called a red herring. Herring is a fish. Sometimes in the story, it makes the detective go off on the wrong track. Do you suppose that's what we've got in this chemical Mr. Kirsten told me about? I don't know anything about such things, DJ, but if I was a young reporter like you, I'd sure enough want to know whether this was one of them there red herrings, or if it was a real clue. The boy nodded. I need to know that, he agreed. Thanks, Grandpa. Alfred will help me check it out. DJ was surprised to see Kathy Stagg downtown early the next morning when he walked Hero towards Alfred's house. Kathy didn't see DJ. She was riding her bicycle along the curb, heading away from him, but as she approached one of the old street lights, DJ saw an arm pull back suddenly and then snap forward. A long stick sailed through the air and hit Kathy's back wheel spokes. The bike went out of control and fell. DJ saw Kathy's reddish gold hair spread like beautiful wings as she crashed hard on the asphalt. Come on, Hero, DJ called and dashed forward. But Ormley Crater beat him there. Ormley lifted Kathy by her left arm. She was almost on her feet when DJ arrived. You okay, Kathy? DJ asked, taking hold of the other arm. Ormley looked up at DJ and gave him such an angry look that the mountain boy involuntarily, that means not on purpose, leaned back. Ormley hissed through clenched teeth, Get out of here, kid. Kathy was inspecting her torn jeans. Look at that, she moaned. The knee's torn out, and I just got them yesterday. How about you? DJ asked with concern. Oh, I'm fine, thanks. She glanced up at DJ, shaking her hair so it fell neatly from the center part to land softly on her shoulders. There it is, on her shoulders. Her very blue eyes glistened with tears, and DJ knew that she was hurting. Thank you both. I don't know what happened. I was just riding along. Oh, I see what happened. That big stick must have flipped up and landed in my spokes. Look, some of them are broken. DJ started to say he'd seen Ormley throw the stick. It wasn't an accident. But Kathy had turned to look fully at the other boy. She smiled warmly at him. Now I recognize you. You're old man you're Rankling Crater's nephew. Kathy Stagg. Oh, excuse me. Ormley Crater. And you're Kathy Stagg. Why, thank you for helping me, Ormley. Thanks very much. DJ couldn't believe what he was hearing, but Ormley turned his head slightly towards DJ so Kathy couldn't see. Ormley's mouth formed words without sound. DJ couldn't understand them, but he clearly got the warning. If he said anything to the girl, there'd be plenty of trouble. Not knowing what to do or say, DJ bent and examined the bike. He heard Ormley talking cheerfully to Kathy and her friendly answers. DJ couldn't explain it, but their tones caused him to get angry. He stood up to announce the damage to the bike just as Alfred came running up, leading Duger and the stray black and tan hound. Before DJ could greet his friend, Duger suddenly stopped and barked once, very sharply. DJ glanced down. The bloodhound and the red-bone mix was facing Ormley. The red-colored hound's hackles went up. His upper lip curled back from his long fangs. The dog moved swiftly forward, stiffly forward, very slowly. His head low to protect his throat. A growl began deep in his chest. Ormley's hazel eyes widened in surprise and fear. Hey, what's your dog doing? Call him off before he takes a hunk out of me. Alfred spoke sharply. No, Duger, no. Down. Reluctantly, the dog's rumbling warning died in his throat. Slowly, the hackles came down and the stiff-legged walk eased. The upper lip slid down across the exposed fangs. Alfred pulled the hound back to the heel position. Ormley demanded, What was all that about? You could have got me dog-bit. My uncle'd have you in jail. What's your name, kid? Alfred. My name is Alfred Milton, and I don't know what made Duger do that. You see, he's really my little brother's dog. He never acted like that before in his whole life. DJ, what do you make of it? DJ looked at Hero and the stray. Neither of them had shown any hostility until Duger had started acting up. They had reacted in a lesser way and were now fully back to normal. Kathy had bent a smooth Tag's redhound with cooing sounds. DJ said very quietly, I saw you throw that stick. You're crazy, Ormley snapped, keeping his voice low and almost hissing the words in DJ's face. You say that again and you'll be mighty sorry. DJ went on, still very gently. And the reason that dog started for you was because you clobbered him alongside the head when he ran through that barbed wire fence. What? You're out of your mind. I thought your voice sounded familiar, DJ said, so softly that his voice could barely carry a few feet. And when Duger went for you, I knew for sure. Kathy stood up suddenly, her hair flying so that her freckled face showed clearly. Her eyes were popping. DJ Dillon, are you being mean to Ormley? Kathy, this Ormley guy threw that stick through your spokes, and he hit Duger and... DJ! Her voice cut him off. I can't believe what you're doing. Come on, Ormley. Let's go somewhere else. The sickening grin eased across the older boy's face as he picked up Kathy's bike and pushed it ahead of him. DJ was so upset he wanted to run after Kathy and make her understand. But Alfred laid a hand on DJ's forearm, like here, just helping him to stop. Not now, DJ. I've got some bad news for you. That is the end of chapter 6. So now we found out what happened to Kathy. And that Ormley guy, he's got her fooled into thinking that he's a good guy. And now they also know who hit the red hound, the stray. So I don't know what's going to go on now. But we'll find out. Maybe tomorrow, I don't know. We're going to be reading tomorrow Bad News for Stony Ridge. Bad news for that town. I wonder what that one's going to be about. Well, we'll find out. I'm really glad that DJ had Alfred to calm him down a little bit and let him know now wasn't the time. It's good to have a good friend like that. I hope you have a good friend. And I hope you remember I love you. I really do. But more importantly, God loves you. And He always will. So, I'll be reading to you again tomorrow. I hope you enjoy this story. Leave a comment of what you think might be going to happen next. All right. Good night. God bless.